and welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm taking you along for a 2-day vlog in my little art business, sharing behind the scene moments, creative work and the reality of building a dream from scratch. It's all about the importance of chasing what lights you up no matter where you start, because it's never too late to make it happen. If it's your first time here, I'm Sally, also known as Squawn, at Squawn Artist. I'm an oil painter and a small business owner. My plan today is to get several paintings done. I just need to make sure that these are smooth. I've got the acrylic paint down first, and we're going to be painting some little flamingos on each one. I did a penguin series last year, so I'm doing a flamingo series this year. I've got a solo show in September, so I need to make sure that I've got enough artwork for that. I thought I'd take you along with me today, and while we do that, I thought I would talk about the importance of making your dream come true. Basically just going for it. It's really talking about the importance of, when you get to a certain age, I think you reflect back on what's happened in your life so far. I'm very fortunate. I've got a wonderful husband and 5 amazing kids. But there's no denying, with a family that size and working full time, I didn't have very much time to pursue anything. I got to a point where I realised that life was going past me. Now, I don't know whether it was a combination of a few things. Lockdown, so I think a lot of us were able to reflect on our past lives up until that point. My mum had been given a diagnosis of terminal cancer with only 2 years to live. And also I was perimenopausal, had triggered anxiety, and was making me reflect on where I was in my life. Now, up until this point, I've been a full-time mum for a few years, then had got into education, was bringing up 5 children as well as working full-time. I got to a point where I realised that there was something in me that I wasn't sharing, which was probably my creative side. I did nothing but draw constantly as a child, and my favourite subject by far at school was art, where I pretty much mainly did graphite drawing. I actually completed A-level and had got accepted into art college. But in the summer between my A-levels and art college, my dad unfortunately hurt his back, which meant we didn't have an income coming in as a family. I went out to work, and within that year, I think there was a lot of things. I just got used to earning money after never actually having earned money myself. And I started to question my ability to make a career out of art. Back then, we didn't have social media or even the internet. What I knew about art was you either were really famous job, or that you became an art teacher. Now, obviously, now I've got social media and the internet. I know that actually there are many people out there who are making a living as an artist, selling their artwork, which is basically my dream. My dream is just to be able to paint full time, and hopefully people out there like my artwork enough that they want to hang it on their wall and buy my art. So that is the dream that I'm pursuing at the moment. So that's how I got here. I'm a middle-aged woman who suddenly realised I let a little bit too much time pass. For years I told myself maybe later, or it's not the right time. But recently I've had this little voice, a loud voice, remind me that I've always wanted to pursue art properly. So here I am. It feels a little bit selfish, but also not really, because it is me finally giving something back to myself and chasing the dream job that I only used to dream about. It's a small step. I'm launching a tiny collection of flamingo paintings, but it feels huge to me. I'd love to know what your dream is. Maybe it's a lifestyle, maybe it's a job, but maybe it's just a little bit more time for you. Tell me in the comments. I really want to hear it. Do any of you use Winsor and Newton canvas. The reason I ask, sometimes these go in really nicely and are lovely because you can like put a little Phillips screwdriver in here and separate them so you can get a nice torn canvas. But other times, I mean, I'm literally lining that up and that baby is not going in under any circumstances. It's not, it just doesn't fit at all. Am I missing the point somehow? I've got little wooden ones left over from I've got ones left over from other canvases which were tight, and this one's tight, so it's not the end of the world if I don't put them in. But seeing we've got them, but the amount of times I'm actually, I would say 50% of the time, I'm not being able to use them because they just don't fit at all. And then these little canvases are from ACF, and they're done on I think it's like MDF, and these are great. I mean, that is absolutely brilliant. I mean, that's so tight, I don't even have to worry about, even think about tightening that up, where you can hear there's a little bit of movement, but it's not the end of the world. As I say, I can use these wooden ones. It's just a shame that these plastic ones are being sent, and yet there is no way I'm sliding that baby in there under any circumstances. And it hasn't been tightened up at all. And it does only go one way, so once you've tightened it, you've tightened it. I don't know. If you know, I'd love to hear. Otherwise, I'm just going to prep this canvas. Now, I have been using titanium buff, which I absolutely love. I'm going to get that on, let that dry, and hopefully we are going to get a snow leopard on here. A dear friend of mine called Christopher has lent me his reference photo of a snow leopard, which is absolutely such a sweet thing for him to do. Let me share with you. Oh. I think that isn't the best light. Let me share with you my most recent. Let's do it that way around. Let's do it that way around so you can see like my most recent painting. It started off as a tutorial by Jean Pritchard, but I went a little bit off on the kilter just because I wanted to make sure that I got these beautiful sunlight coming in. But if you ever want to learn how to do wildlife in oils, I highly recommend Jean Pritchard. Absolutely phenomenal teacher. So I had a productive day painting. Got 4 paintings done. 3 I actually did live on TikTok. I was going to do one on TikTok, one on YouTube and one on Instagram, but my friends came into TikTok, so I just stayed there for a little while. But let me show you what I've done. We are going to have to come up with names for all of these. Oh, there's a little bit of shadow there. As you can tell, it's got a bit late, so yeah. We've got the girls, the self-admiring one, a parent and baby, and the girls as well. I might have to film this again tomorrow when the light's a little bit better. It was an absolutely wonderful afternoon. Look at all these amazing pinks that I was able to use. Gorgeous. Now it's just tidy up time. Also, I'd like to say I don't normally get this amount of work done in a day. It's just come together that today that this has probably been one of my proactive days. I never get 4 paintings done. In fact, this is the first time I've ever got 4 paintings done. But I think that was the idea of that, was just to get on and see how many I can do. My last job for today is to get this lion down. Oh, actually, it's not even a lion, it's a slave leopard. I have a friend of mine has let me use his reference photo. So I have just blown it up on rapid resizer, and then I will trace the outline of this onto my canvas. Can I freehand it? Yes, I can. But to save time, I just trace over the basic outline onto the canvas. I'll show you how I do that, and I'll show you the outline at the end. So as you can see, it's very light, very basic. I just put the main characters in. I won't lie, when I do a pet portrait, I put more detail in because I need the animal to be more exact. I can't just paint a Jack Russell. I do have to paint little Henry or whatever the dog's name is. But when it's a wildlife piece, if I'm slightly out on a spot, it doesn't really matter. Last night, but because the lighting was so bad, I've decided that I'm going to show you again today. These are the paintings that I finished up yesterday. I did 3 out of the 4 on a live on TikTok. So I'm going to need to name all of these, but which one's your favourite? And if you've got any idea of any names for any of these, I'd love it if you could send them to me. So the plan of action today is to take a good photo of the mother and cub painting and then upload that to social media, and then tonight I will probably add that to my website. Also, I'm going to print off little leaflets like this to go to a dog park in the hope of being able to generate some more commission work. So I shall be cutting those up and handing those out. When I first arrived at the dog park, there was a big group of people gathered around a table next to the drinks van, the exact spot that I was hoping to use. Once they moved on, I set up a couple of my paintings. This is a park I normally visit, and it's usually very busy. But today, for some reason, it was unusually quiet. I handed out just 5 leaflets in the 2 hours I was there, but I did get 3 inquiries from it, so not a total loss. The final job of the day was scaling all of my flamingo pieces. That's when I had a brilliant idea, or maybe a slightly idiotic one, to launch a whole collection next week. Yep, next week. So now I'm deep in the whirlwind of trying to pull together all the marketing in just 7 days. We're talking stories, reels, posts, emails, the lot. Honestly, I have no idea if a week is really enough time to get everything done properly, but we're going to go for it. So if you want to see how this first ever collection launch pans out and whether I actually pull it off, don't forget to give me a follow. It's going to be a bit chaotic, a bit colourful, and hopefully totally worthwhile. Wish me luck, and I'll see you in the next one.